turn in on the car, it's perfect. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're gonna be going over a new Subaru STI. Now this one is a 2020 model year. They are gonna be doing a full redesign for 2022, but I figured since this is my best friend's new car, we do a review on it, and we'll actually be able to get kind of like a different driving perspective on this car, since we're not just gonna be kind of like around a dealership. But let's get straight into the video. Under the hood of the STI, we have a turbocharged 2.5 liter flat 4-cylinder that goes through a 6-speed manual transmission. Fuel economy is 16 around town and then 22 on the highway, with power outputs being 310 horsepower and then 290 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go over the front end of the STI. So first off, a signature thing with the STI and the WRX is you've got this giant venting here in the center. Definitely makes it look really aggressive. And then full LED lights here to the side. You've got the LED accent lights that wrap around them. And then you got the cool venting there down below. And then all with the front grille, you've got your signature Subaru logo with the little STI badge there on the other side. And then I actually like this portion right here. It's just really aggressive, and just overall, I think the front end on the STI just looks really nice still even to this day. Now coming on the side here, we've got two 45mm tires wrapped around 19-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. As for the design on the wheels, I think it's pretty intricate, so it's actually kind of hard to see here on the camera, but you've got the silver here kind of like on the top portion, and then you've got like the darker gray, and overall I think it just looks really good. I love the green brake calipers. I wish more car manufacturers would do something like that on their cars. I just think it definitely makes it kind of like look more racy. And then you've got your little STI badge there on the side, and then notice you've got the mirrors are kind of like two-tone. And the one thing I do want to mention is the STI does have kind of like a different suspension setup compared to the WRX, so it does ride a little bit rougher on road, but the handling definitely a lot sharper. So normally I just tell you guys about the storage space, but you can see that John has a bunch of stuff back here from his old car, and so you guys can actually like visually see the storage space. And shout out to Mark Miller for hooking John up with the car, but also for the bags. But yeah, you guys can see you can fit quite a bit of stuff in there, and other than that, well, see ya. Now finishing things up in the rear, again, with the STI, you get the gigantic spoiler. Now you can get an option to have like a smaller spoiler, but I mean, this is like part of the car, so don't do it. But other than that, you got the LED lights here on the back, and then you got like your Subaru badge, your STI badge, and then I love the exhaust tips on the STI. I definitely think it's a cool look here on the rear with the diffuser. And then notice you do get the Vortex generator from the factory there at the top as well. And other than that, that's the rear. Now here's the door panel on the back of the STI. So first off, you've got all this Alcantara with the red stitching, and then just down below as well. And then you've got the blacked out trim here in this little portion. And then here are the seats in the back. So you've got the leather mixed with the Alcantara there in the center, and then you've got the red leather. And then yes, it does come with the red seat belts. I just love the design here on the seats. But I'm actually gonna pop in here to the back, which it's really easy to get in. I'm 5'11" and I've got good headroom. Legroom's solid as well, and you get these rubber floor mats, which is another nice little touch. And I wonder, I guess that's just there. I thought that may be pulled out. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. This is a Sunday. I usually don't review cars on Sundays, so mine's a little bit boggled. But some cup holders and armrest, and that's all for the back. And say hi to John. Here's the door panel at the front. So again, you've got the Alcantara with the red stitching, and then here on the armrest as well. And then you've got all the blacked out trim with all of your window controls. And then you do have your mirror adjustment. And then here are the seats. So this does come with the Recaro seats. Definitely recommend getting this option. They look amazing. I love how it says Recaro there. But more Alcantara. Again, red seatbelt here in the front with the red leather that goes down. So the driver seat's power adjustable, the passenger seat, that's manually adjustable. And then you guys can see the 3-pedal layout, because you can only get the STI in a manual transmission. Stability control, because you always want to turn that off so you can have some fun. And then the steering wheel is manually adjustable, but there's one more look before we pop in. Here's the steering wheel in the STI. So you've got softer leather at the top and the bottom, and then you've got perforated leather here on the side where you're actually gonna grab so your hands don't slip as much. And then you've got red stitching all throughout. And then you've got the cruise control over here. I love the STI badge here at the bottom. And you got all your volume controls right here. And then notice you've got the stock for the lights and the turn signal on that side. And then you've got the stock for the windshield wipers. And the steering on this is really like nicely weighted. It definitely has a heavier feel to it overall. Now here's the center gauge cluster. You've got all the red accenting there, and then you've got the STI logo, which I think is pretty cool there with the RPMs. Now the most important part is the drive modes. So you've got a couple different drive modes. You've got the Sport, and then you've got the Sport Sharp, and then you push in for Intelligent, and then it'll kind of show you right there on that little portion of the screen which mode you're in, which I think is pretty neat. But yeah, other than that, it's a pretty simple setup. And then if you guys are wondering about the diff, you don't really want to use that unless you're on the track, so just leave that in automatic mode. Now, I think this is way cooler than the center gauge clutch. So this is a screen at the top of the dash and shows you the boost, acceleration percentage, temperature outside, which is okay. But I think the boost part of it is my favorite part. And the acceleration percentage, it's like, hey, you're gonna be going like partial, like you guys can see, if I press the throttle, it gives me the percentage. I think that's pretty neat little feature. Now here in the center screen, it's actually pretty straightforward. If we pop it into reverse, it does have a backup camera with little trajectory lines. And then as for the rest of the screen, Subaru's infotainment system's really good. Response time on it's good. I feel like it's nicely like integrated into the rest of the dash. And other than that, you've got the dual zone climate controls just down below, and that's all for the center screen and the climate. So normally this is like a 12 volt so that you can charge your phone, but we all know what Subaru drivers do. So this is actually 12 volt to charge your vape pen. And then you've got the leather here on the side with the stitching, and then another STI logo. And then I really like the shifter. It's got these like nice short throws to it, and then it's up and over for reverse. We'll kind of talk more about the shifter when we are doing the driving portion, but love the look of it, love the feel of it as well. And then here's that little dial to go to the drive mode. So again, you've got sport sharp, and then you push in for the SI drive, and then this is for the diff. Couple cup holders right here, and then notice we've got our little heated seat controls, and then you got your traditional e-brake right next to it. And then this is pretty funny, like just pops up, and then you can open it. It's got some storage in it, but that's my favorite part, is how it just does that little pop-up thing. And then finishing things up, we've got the glove box over here, and then also did more black trim there at that portion of the dash. Now up top here, you've got a full black headliner here in the STI. And the other thing I want to mention is you can get these with a sunroof, but I think it's better without a sunroof. I think it looks cleaner. And I mean, this is a race car, so you got to like keep the center of gravity low. Now here's a window sticker for this STI. Feel free to freeze the frame on any part of it if you guys want to read all of the little options that this comes with. You guys can see all the extra stuff that it has. And then I believe the optional 3 is for the seats on this. Again, definitely recommend that. I love the seats. But you guys can see the total price, $41,489. Let's take her out and see how she drives. Well, let's quickly talk about visibility before we set off here in this STI. So first off, visibility of the hood is really good. Even though you got a little bulge in the middle, it doesn't really get in the way. And there's your visibility through that mirror. There's John, and the visibility through the other mirror. And then here's throughout the rest of the rear, which the wing gets in the way slightly, but it's not too bad. And even in the rear view mirror, I mean, I feel like it doesn't really get in the way too much. But that all being said, well, got to take the brake off and first gear, and let's set off. As you guys can see, we are starting off here in the STI. And again, this is exciting because I can actually do like a full drive with this, unlike just kind of going around the corner, what I usually do with dealerships. And the one thing I do want to mention is if you guys really like this car and you want to see more content on John's car, like what I did with the Ram 1500 Limited, where I did like the 5 things I love about it, the 5 things I hate about it, like the highway drive that we did and all that stuff, then let me know and we can arrange something with John and maybe give him the TRX for the day. And I mean, that would be, you're like, I don't know if I want to do that. But yeah, we can figure something out if you guys want to see that content-wise with this car. But first off, the thing I want to mention is, yes, this car definitely has a rougher ride quality to it, but what you give up in smoothness, you gain in like the best handling ever. Like, this car is just fantastic. It pretty much feels like it's on rails, and because of the symmetrical all-wheel drive, it's like if you start to like lose a little bit of grip, then you pretty much just punch it and the car just, it grips amazingly well. I really like it from a grip standpoint, and from a suspension standpoint, like as a daily driver, it's not necessarily the best, but as like a fun weekend car, it's really solid. And I mean, you could definitely live with it on a daily basis, and it really wouldn't be a bad thing whatsoever. But I'll get back to you guys in a second. We're kind of behind this really slow Lexus, and it's making the video kind of sad, just saying. You guys at least will be able to see kind of the turning radius here with the STI, which is actually pretty good. Now that I'm used to that first gear, it's easy. it makes, like, the sounds this car makes are so cool. I love the sounds of the car. Don't worry, we're always, oh my gosh, the sign's beeping at us because we're going the speed limit. Why is it beeping at, like, it says speed limit 40 and it's still like flashing like, hey, you're going the speed limit, buddy. I'll get back to you guys in another second. We have arrived here in Mexico, so you guys can see the handling of the car now. Woo! Such a quick car. And like, it's just crazy what this does around these like little corners here. Like, this is what I'm talking about, is you just grip. And it's really easy to find the gear as well. But yeah, there's just so much grip with this car. It is, it is intense, the level of grip that you get with the STI. It is intense, the level of grip that you get with this car. It's just, it's perfect. Like, it hooks, and it just, the handling is so nice. Like, the turn in on the car, it's perfect, it's light. And yeah, it's like a fun, like, driver's car. The STI, it's great. And it still has like that older kind of like analog feel that a lot of newer cars have lost. Like, they feel so synthetic, whereas this, you feel a little bit more connected to the car. You can actually feel what's happening on the road. The steering feel is just amazing with the STI. I love it. And rev matching, super easy to rev match with the car. Like, don't even have to try. The acceleration's like, it's dramatic. There's like definitely some drama to the acceleration, and it makes the car just that much more exciting and fun to drive because of all the drama you get with the STI. And we've got a little road coming up here in just a little bit, so I'll get back to you guys in another while and we'll get some more kind of like handling, and then we'll kind of sum things up with the STI. Well, John just gave me some knowledge. The steering has a 13:1 ratio, and that's why as I'm driving the car, it just feels so nice from a steering perspective. Like, you guys can see on this road, I'm barely, like, you don't have to put in very much steering input to really get the car to actually turn in. It's like, it's so nice. Like, and it's smooth. I won't say how quick we're going, but it's smooth at pretty much every single speed. It is just very smooth. And that'll get me to summing things up with the STI here, and we're just rolling in neutral now. So first off, from an exterior aesthetics perspective, I feel like it's still a really good looking car. And from the interior perspective, that's my favorite part. I love the seats. I love the feel of them. They hold you in place. I love the shifter feel. I love the steering wheel. Like, all of this just feels and looks really nice. And then from a performance standpoint, yeah, 300 horsepower doesn't sound like a lot nowadays. However, how this car puts down the power, the drama you get from the turbos and the grip, like, it's perfect. It's like the best. This would be like a great Canyon car. It's got just the right amount of power, the right amount of drama and grip and everything. So yeah, I mean, if you want kind of more of like an analog feeling car, that's where the STI still shines. And I don't know, I really like it. I think that maybe I need to add one of these rally cars here to the channel, because this thing is, it's fun. Now, that is gonna sum things up for our video on this new Subaru STI. And again, a huge shout out and thank you to my friend John for giving me some time with his car. Super excited for him. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next video.